It was a good win on Saturday, and after looking at the film yesterday, it was, we were sloppy, but we were able to go get the job done. And I told our team we can still improve, we can get so much better. Offensively, I look at the guys that really competed well. You look at Swoops, 18 Wheeler did a really good job. And even the Jay getting Perkins back was a really good bonus for us and good plus. And then watching Jay Gray run as hard as he ran. And then defensively, Ridgeway is becoming a force in the middle for us. He creates so much havoc in there, and it's so disruptive. And Pete Jenkins is really turning on. He's coming and is having a really good, solid year for us. And then in the back end, 31 and 14 played really well. But we're always looking to get better, and we know we had to improve. And even in the kicking game, our punter was a conference player of the week. What about that punter? Good job. I guess he saved us on that one kick there. But we know that we can get a lot better. And I told Trey Holtz, I had to give a lot of praise and credit to him getting that ball down on some of the snaps, or just getting it down and giving us a chance to kick it. But we got a big test going on the road this week, and we know that we're going to have to play our A game. We're going to have to be at our best, and this week is critical, and we need to get better in practice and have the right preparation and focus.
Charlie, let's start with an easy one. Are you going to Miami?
Look at that. Hey, Sean, look at Sean turning away when they ask that question.
Let's just get it out there. You going to Miami?
Look here. I have the best job in the country, all right? So where did that start from? Who started that rumor? You did?
No, that's from somewhere else.
Bowles started that rumor. No, Bowles started that rumor.
Yeah, your partner actually started.
Who was my partner?
ESPN started that.
Yeah. That is my partner, huh?
I hear Jane.
That's really my partner. Each and every week, I'm the topic of conversation.
Yes, you are.
Each and every week. It hasn't been one week where I wasn't. Either they're ripping me or saying I lost my team or saying something else. Exactly.
That's right. So is that a no?
No.
Just kidding. Serious question though. The way things have gone the last few weeks, this has got to be exactly how you wanted this team and this program, the attitude and everything. This is probably how you wanted it all along, right?
Well, what's happening now, Brian, is that guys each and every week they're gaining more confidence. And when I said to our guys today, we put that package in with Swoops there at the end of the game. We put that in on Saturday morning. So we was going to take out the running backs, let Delatory be the lead back, lead the wide receivers on the field. And I said probably why it worked so well, we didn't have time to coach it. And the guys didn't overcoach it and have to worry about what if they do this or do that, or try to counter. No, just run it. And so now the guys are gaining more confidence. You can give them more things to do. And if you watch just on offense, you want to run the football, and that's our identity. You have to have an identity, and it's running the football, and have not lost confidence in Gerard throwing the ball at all. But right now with the way our offensive line is playing and being physical at the point of attack, and even on defense, you're controlling the line of scrimmage where they're just not going up and down the field, where you're getting some pressure, and you got a guy like Ridgeway and Puna and Boyad and Tank, and those guys are playing so well in the middle for you that you're able to do some things.
Charlie, why has Peter Jenkins taken these steps, and why is he playing better? What do you think it is? And should Shiro Davis and even Nahshon be more productive at their positions than they've been?
Well, you look at Peter, it's just that he's a senior now, and I think that he's developed into the game, and he's very comfortable. You think about it. Last year we played him outside, and now we had, with the losing Hicks and losing Edmonds, now you move him to the inside position, and now he's really comfortable. And each and every week he's just getting better and better. Had a big sack there Saturday where he ran down the quarterback. And what's happening with Nahshon and with Shiro, it's just so we are doing so many things inside, and even when we go to the outside game, we kick them down and let Malik rush off the edge. But they're doing a good job. It's just that they're not having, their names aren't being called enough because they're not making the tackles because, guys are getting to them before they get to them.
Do you spend any time directly with Peter, though? You're the linebacker.
No, I'm not the linebacker. That's Coach BJ. He's handling all that. But, no, I tell you what, when we go out to practice, it's just fun watching them because now they're just more locked in and they're more focused and they're listening.
Hey, Coach, we heard that Deontay Foreman might have had some kind of injury or issue with his foot. Can you tell us about that and if you expect him at practice this week and to be able to play this weekend?
Yeah, I think that Deontay, it may have been his toe or something, but it's nothing serious. I think he's walking around in the boot more of just protection purposes, but he'll be ready to go.
Coach, you had big plays from Jason Hall and Dylan Haynes. Is the play up front? Do you have more faith in the corners? What's allowing those guys to make those plays, kind of playing center field?
Sean, I told our guys, I said that when we're a better defensive team when Duke is in the middle. What I mean by middle, when he's playing the nickel position. And so now with the outside, now you have two freshmen, or you have Antoine Davis. You have some guys that you can put at the corner position. But what's happening now is that a lot of balls are coming out because of the pressures coming. And I told Haynes he dropped the interception, then he dropped two interceptions, one for a touchdown. And even when Jay Hall slipped, the ball's coming in, he slipped, and that ball's going to hit him right in the chest if he doesn't slip. But it's just Ridgeway is, they're trying to get it, they're trying to double him. Then if they double him, then Puna's good enough where he can win now, and with Tank and with Boyette. So we're getting some guys that are where we're creating a good pressure package on third down, where we bring a lot of pressure so we're not allowing the quarterback just to hold the football.
Charlie, how close, the way you're playing now on offense, how close is this to the identity you envisioned when you made changes after Notre Dame?
Well, we still have some ways to go, Mark, because you like to improve the throwing game, and it has to improve because it's going to be hard to rush each and every week, for 300-plus yards, and then you're not throwing the ball that well. But at one point, it's going to turn into a throwing game where we're going to have to make some throws. So we just got to continue to improve it with our passing game.
Coach, during the rough times of this season, you talked about when this program flips, be on board. Do you feel like it's flipped?
Well, we still have some to go, Dennis, and I told our guys, I told them before we played the last game with Kansas State, we're still 2-4, guys. So let's not get full of ourselves. I know we just beat Oklahoma, but we still got some teams to go play, and we just got to see how we just continue and we have to be consistent in how we continue to play out.
Charlie, the way that Tyrone has embraced what you guys have asked of him since losing the starting job, what's that kind of say about his character, and what do you think about kind of how that has really boosted this offense?
Tyrone, he's such a solid person, and we're going to make the change. I sat down with him and I said that, we're still going to have a package for you. So it's not like, you're just going to go stand over and hold a clipboard or hold your helmet and just go watch the offense go up and down the field. But I said that what I want you to do is just stay engaged. And I said more than anything, since you played and you started all the games last season, you can help Gerard and just teach him some things. But you know what? He's done a great job. And now, when he comes in, he gets the whole team gets excited because if it's 3rd and 1, he's going to fall forward and get a first down. But then the package there at the end where he just kept running and he's so physical and so strong. And the great thing about it, he can throw the football too. So it's a good package for us.
Kirk in front, please.
Charlie, you dominated Oklahoma at a neutral site game, but you haven't played your best on the road, TCU and Notre Dame. How do you change that, and do you expect it to change?
That's what we was talking about just yesterday to the team. I said that, the times that we went on the road, we just haven't played good. I said, Dallas, that doesn't count. But we have to play better, and we have to start off right. And we got to get off to a really good start, whether it be on defense or offense, whoever is up first. If we're on offense, we need to move the football and get some points or establish a really good drive. We can't go out there 3 and out and then punt the ball away to them and then all of a sudden give them good field position. And then defensively, if we go out, we're going to have to go stop them. We would have stopped them against TCU, but then the next ones, it was like, cha-ching, 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 and then they're just racking it up. And that's what we can't allow to happen. We need to be consistent, and we need to go play and play at our best.
Coach, I was watching the game on TV, and I don't think I've ever seen you smile as much throughout a game since you've been here. Are you having more fun and more excited and more confident about these guys now? You say they're confident. Are you more confident in them?
Well, it's going to grow as we continue to watch them develop, and that's what's happening now. They're developing. You look at our offensive line. Getting Pert back really helped us because even with the two freshmen in there, with Taylor Doyle, who's done a solid job all year long, and even with Seth Flowers, both those guys have been solid. And then we're getting, like I said, getting Pert back. He was the offensive player of the game, with him bouncing back so quickly. But you're seeing guys make plays, but our players are having fun. So when they have fun, then, we're going to have it. Saturday morning we got up and it was pouring down rain, and at 6 o'clock we were standing there. So everybody, they were sitting around in the lobby. And I told them to get up, let's go, get up, quit laying around. I wouldn't let you lay in bed if I wanted you to lay around. So then I walked outside, and I called them all outside, and they was like, oh, God, we're going to walk in this storm. And I started going, I said, yep, that's what we're going to do, guys. And Ridgeway said, well, I'm prepared. I know we're going to because I know something's wrong with you, so I know we're going to have to go walk in this. But I tricked him. I said, no, I just want them to stand out there. We stood out there for about 10 minutes. I said, I'm just waiting for it to slow down. I said, if we get a little slow rainfall here, we're going to start going our walk. But I didn't make them walk in the set. I just brought them back in the hotel, let them go to meetings. But they thought we was going to get that walk. But it's just fun being around them now.
Charlie, when you're not throwing the ball all over the field, is it a tougher buy-in for your receivers? Are you guys watching them do the little things, and does that mean maybe some other guys are getting chances because it's more about blocking?
They're not selfish at all, and you would think that because they all want the ball in their hands, and just the way they were blocking, like John Burt did a great job. Marcus did a really good job, even DJ, but DJ got to run at some of those fly sweeps, so he really didn't care. But the guys, because Lorenzo will tell you, he said, Coach, I know I'm coming in the grain to block, and I don't mind blocking at all. But we do need to get the ball in their hands just to offset it some because they're doing a lot. They've been doing a lot of blocking in the last 2 weeks.
Charlie, you're in the Goodwill part of your schedule, 7-point favorite this weekend, and you'll be favored by more against Kansas. How much do you impress upon them the gravity of how you could actually get well and be over 500 in a couple of weeks?
So that's 2 straight weeks we've been favored, huh? No, I told him, I said, this is a big game for us because we need to get it back, and we need to get even back up, and we need to go play well. And that's why this is critical. We talk about games, but each game now, it's a one-game season, game by game, and let's just take it like that game by game, and let's get ready for this one. Don't worry about the next one, but let's take all of our attention in this game. And I told our coaches that in the staff meeting this morning, just get us a good plan. Let's get us a good plan together and make sure our guys go out and execute it.
Coach, do you ever just look out there and with the amount of freshmen that you have out there and say, oh, my God, I can't believe we've got like so many guys on both sides of the ball. Can you just give me your thoughts on that and maybe how these guys are doing more than halfway through?
Saturday I looked out there on defense, and it was kind of a timeout, so they were standing out there on the field, and I said to Vance, I said, look out there, there's a Minnie Hughes standing there, and even with Nashon, he hasn't played a lot. He was standing there, and then your 2 freshman corners with 9 and 5 standing on the field, and then you had 45 Wheeler at linebacker, and you're looking at that young group of guys, and you're like, wow. And then they said, well, that's all we got, so it's what we play with, and they're talented enough, so go play with them. And then even on offense, you look at your 2 freshman linemen, you look at Burt at wide receiver, look at Gerard at quarterback, you had Warren back there at running back at that time. But it's a really good group, and the good thing about it is that the older guys have really bought into them, and they have bought into the older guys. So it's no division where a lot of times when you're playing a bunch of young guys, they want to feel like that they're the team, and the older guys who put in all the work, who actually built the foundation of the program, they feel kind of left out. But we haven't done that. So, and that's what I tell our older guys all the time. If y'all want to win, you got to bring these guys in and make sure this becomes a team. And that's what it started happening now. The team is beginning to build, and that's why it's playing with the confidence, playing with and having the fun. And talking about the attitude was said. That's why they're having it now, because of the older guys. And I tell Jay Gray that all the time. Hey, Jay Gray, we got to get going, Duke. We got to get these guys going. And so now the young guys will listen to them.
Charlie, when your first year plus here, when you were recruiting, you were kind of selling hope more than anything else. You didn't have a lot of evidence. Are you noticing that lately when you talk to recruits that they like what they see in the program right now?
Well, and the biggest seller for us is our players and our recruits. They actually see it happening because they come to the games. But the great thing about it, when you're at a great university like this, it kind of sells itself because they know how strong it is academically. And once you get the football program going, they know that now they're getting the best of both worlds.
Did they enjoy that Kansas State game, the recruits?
Oh, they watched it, and they's like, y'all played in all that rain? Somebody thought we was going to cancel it. One of the guys said to me, he's like, I didn't think y'all were going to play that game. I said, no, we're going to play it unless it's lightning. So that rain's going to come down, but we're going to play that game.
We got to talk to Michael Dixon for the first time after the game and just kind of hearing his story and his background. What was the short recruiting process like for him, and what have you seen just in the last 3 weeks as he's overcome what happened against Oklahoma State and gotten where he is now?
And I think that we got on him because at LSU they had a kicker from Australia, and Brick knew the guy that's kind of running it, and so that's how. And it was very short. He had two guys. He said, "Okay, here's the film on these guys. You guys tell me which one you want." And so I think so. We ended up getting Mike, and so he came in and he said, yeah, I'll be okay, coach. And I said, you sure? I mean, you don't mind in case? Like, no, I'll be good. I've heard about Texas, so I'm good. But to watch him develop over the last 3 weeks after dropping that ball, he's such an older player that it doesn't really bother. I mean, he kind of can get over things. And even when he ran back there Saturday and he picked up that one and punched it down the field, he's like, Coach, I was not going to let what happened to me against Oklahoma State. I was going to get that ball off somehow. And I said, well, good thing we kept it in balance this time. Last time it went out. That's why I was laughing at him. I said, when he came off the field, I said, hey, that's a good one. You kept it in balance this time. It didn't go up into the first row of the stands.
What about the fans? I was told there was 44,000 there on Saturday. I know that the call from both the players and the coaching staff has been like, hey, we need you guys there. What did you think about the fact that they were both loud and on their feet throughout all four quarters?
I think we was 88 there. It wasn't instead of 44, wasn't it? But no, I tell you what, we do have we have great fans here, and even the ones that came and it was in the rain. I mean, you can expect that on a rainy day. You look, even like when we exchange tape, you look in the stands, and on a rainy day, you don't see many fans at all. But no, the ones that came and just was able to just, get through that weather, it's amazing because, sometimes you standing there, rain was just coming down. I was like, you look up in the stands, I said, I don't know if I'll be standing up or if I wasn't playing in this game. But I was just so happy to see the support and knowing that, now that you come back from Oklahoma when you come in a rainstorm, they come and they show up, and now we go to Iowa State, and our fans will be there. That's not a concern.
Charlie, with the coaching changing in jobs, in mid-season, South Carolina, USC, Maryland, and Miami, if you haven't heard, does that change how you coach, and what does that say about your business right now?
Well, if you look at it, it's look like it just turned into you got to be successful, and it's all about winning. And the programs, it's you don't know how much patience people really have now, and sometimes it's got to take patience. If you want to build it the right way, it's going to take patience because then you get your program, you get it in, and you get it established the way you want it to. But those are all good programs, and they'll find the right coach for them. But it's more about it. Sometimes we don't have it's because of the way society is turned. It's more of, hey, I want it to happen right now, and things just don't instantly happen. If you're going to do it the right way, and we all know that, it's got to be a solid foundation built, because that's the only way anything's ever been built, with a solid foundation. You can throw it together, and then it's going to come crumbling down again. But it's got to be solid.
Is it like the NFL now, the pressure you think?
Yeah, because you watch in the NFL. I mean, every 3 years there's a turnover, but I don't think college athletics are turned into that, because it's it's all about I know wins are very important, but you still got to build young men, and it's tough on young men when they see there's a coaching change, and then there's another coaching change, and even when you change assistant coaches. They go through it, and the guys say, well, Coach, I've been here 4 years. I had 4 different coaches, and it's not fair to him. because you like to have some stability where he can walk in and he develop a relationship with that coach. And then you think about it, 10 years from now, he'd like to call his position coach or come back to visit, hoping his coach is still there. Maybe he won't be, but at least he'll have a connection where, hey, coach, you think about this game when I was a freshman. Yeah, I watched you grow as a freshman, sophomore, junior, senior. But, a lot of people don't want to hear that because they're thinking, hey, right now, if you can't get it done, then, hey, we got to have somebody else. But it's not always the answer.
Charlie, it's been 6 games now since Sean was stripped of his play calling duties. How is he still staying involved in the offense? And as an aside, when Jay becomes the play caller, do you need him more involved with Gerard, with Tyrone, with the quarterback's room?
No, Sean's a professional, and the thing about it, he's a very mature young man, and he understands it, and he's still involved, because Jay's on the field and he's in the box, so he sees a lot. And he's always communicating to him. This sort of communication and everything is still going on. So, even though he may be, he is making decisions, and he is saying, hey, look, hey, think about this. When we get it when we get to go through our next series, this is here. I can see this happening. Whatever play it is, but he's truly involved.
Charlie, thinking back to your time at Louisville, was there any one moment or one thing that you point to as, that's when it turned? And are you seeing anything close to that here?
Our second year at Louisville, we were 2-4, and we were going to hit a stretch, and we were going to go on the road at West Virginia, which there's no way we were going to win that game because this one, it had the quarterback and the wide receiver, and they were unbelievable that year. And so we had a team meeting, and it was a players only, kind of what we had here, a few weeks ago, and they kind of got it together, and they kind of got things solved, and then we started playing a lot better and went on a run, and I think we won like 5 out of the next 6 games or something like that. And but these players, the thing about it is these guys here, they want to win and they're working, and like I said, now you can see it coming together because you can see now that the older guys are accepting the young guys, and the good thing about it is that the young guys don't come in with an ego. It can be an issue if they had an ego and then they walked around like, hey, they invented football. The reason why we're doing things is because of me and I'm a freshman. No, but they haven't. And the ones that are playing, you look at the 2 guys with Connor and Vahi. I mean, they're going to do whatever you tell them to do. They don't say nothing. They just go about their business and they just go about their work. And even with Chris Warren, doesn't say anything. Just go about his business. Go about his work. John Burt doesn't say anything. Look on defense, Devontae don't say the whole hell. So you got guys. A lot of times when you have your issues, it's when the young guys they're vocal, they're loud. They want to make it about them. But we don't have a freshman in that group that's making it about them. And so now it's been easier for the older guys to just pull them in and reel them in. And it's amazing how you sit out there sometimes just watch Duke and how he coaches them. And, he'll tell them, hey, even in a game, he's sitting there communicating and telling them what to do. And, Pete Wheeler's from Skyline, so Pete felt like, hey, I'm a Skyline. I'm older than you, but as my guy Skyline, he make a play and they do their little Skyline call or whatever. But it's been fun to watch. It has, and even with the 2 young ones in the back and getting those 2 safeties back, Elliott, getting back, in the Oklahoma game. But it's just that group, it's going to be fun to watch that group with Malik come and to watch that whole group come, because you think about Malik, even with all the press that he's gotten, with everything's been said about him, at least he goes out and he competes. And he's not a prima donna. It's all real with him and everything he does. But he is a total team guy. It's not like he walks around and pound. He can walk in there and probably wouldn't even say nothing because that's just who he is.
Hey, Coach. When you sit down as a coach at the first of the year, you take a realistic look at the schedule and say, okay, Notre Dame's going to be tough. These first half of the season is going to be tough. You were 2-4 after 6. How hard was it to keep all the players on the same page and keep everybody kind of the dogs off your heels as much as you could, saying, hey, we're coming here and we got a time where we can make some noise?
Well, Steve, I never thought I could keep the dogs off my heels because I knew they were going to come barking. But the thing, when you just talk to your team, you just try to show them just, like the Notre Dame game, hey, guys, we laid an egg. We were god-awful. And sometimes I point back to that game, and I say that it was probably my fault because I built the game up so much. And usually when you play a first, we had not played them in so long. So I would probably like 2 weeks out before we ever played them, and every day I had something on Notre Dame, and I kept showing them, and it was like, I would show our history, University of Texas history. I show Notre Dame history. I show Notre Dame All-Americans. I show all Americans. But it was just such a build-up, and then it was almost once we got to the game, it was like, oh. But then you look at the first 6, we knew that it was going to be a tough schedule. But just trying to keep the coaches, and I told our coaches, I said, they're going to go as we go. We got to make sure that we stay positive. We got to stay upbeat. I know it's hard. I mean, you were sitting there, nobody getting their brains beat in, but we still got to keep this team together, and we got to still keep working because we've got a long ways to go, guys, because if we lose this team, which I didn't never think we would, I said if we lose this team, then we have issues. And I said it's not going to show to probably game 8, game 9, game 10. That's when it'll start showing.
Charlie, it looks like Iowa State made a switch with the quarterback, gave him a spark against Baylor. Have you had a chance to look, and what do you see from him and a new quarterback? How does that kind of change things?
Yeah, because Landon came in, I think, midway in the second quarter, and they were able to move the ball, scored a bunch of points with him. Very versatile, can run the ball also, has a really good arm. And it's just that their receivers made some plays. We got to do a great job of covering. But more importantly, the core, we had to control the run with our core and don't get caught up. Tell our DBs, you guys just cover. Let us handle the run and the quarterback with our front 7.
Charlie, just kind of piggybacking on what Steve asked you, did you see the turnaround coming before the Oklahoma game? And real quickly, not to belabor the point, but laughter doesn't translate too well on Twitter in terms of the Miami question. Just to clarify, was that a no?
I'm gonna let Kurt answer that part of it, But no, it was so much said about the players before that game, the Oklahoma game, that I kind of sensed when we walked out there that we were going to play well. And even when we got there on game day, and you could just tell, because even that whole week they didn't say much, and they were just getting blasted, and they have no chance. Where's the pride at in this program? Where's this at in this program? And I think they got just tired of hearing it. And so they were going to walk into that game and knowing that you go in and win that game would just settle, it would just calm down a lot of barking dogs. So we knew what we had to go do, and it was just so fun to watch them go out and compete. And I told him this, and I told Marcus Johnson, his play was probably the play that got that game going. Because he stiff arms the defender, and then he breaks 2 tackles. And our guy, I tell you right now, I know our guys are shocked because he's never done that before. And for him not to go down when he got hit, and then he stayed on his feet, and then he goes in and scores. But that kind of got the whole team. It got the defense going. It got the offense. That was what we needed early in the game to really get that game going. But I have a great job here, and I'd laugh because of the way Brian came right out and asked me about it. But no, I have a job. I got to get things done here, Chuck.
Charlie, I know special teams wise, you guys had the Cal and the Oklahoma State things at the end, and then you see Michigan lose the way they did, Florida State lose the way they did. Just speaking in generally across the country, is there enough practice time during the week to devote as much time that's needed to special teams, or can you just kind of chalk these things up to just fluke things that happen at the end of games?
No, Jeff, you have to do it like on Sundays with us. It's basically 20 or 30 minutes of special teams and onside and everything. You try to do it, then you come back on Tuesday is 2 phases of kicking game. Wednesday is 2 phases of kicking game. Thursday is all phases of kicking game. But you look at things that happen, sometimes as a coach, but it does. It wakes you up and it makes you think about, okay, if we were in that position, what would we do? I mean, you look at that Auburn kick last year, the Alabama game when the guy returned it. But you think about that. You say, what would we do if we were placed in that position? And so a lot of times on the when you go for a field goal, your speed guys aren't out there. It's linemen, and your wings are tight ends, and then you got a holder who's a little guy and the kicker. So one of them have to make the tackle, because if they set up the wall the right way, then you're going to have an issue. But it is something that you just have to go through and just got to continue to work on. You look at us, we missed an extra point and then we dropped the ball. But it's you got to continuously work on it.
Coach, the players may not have seen a whole lot of Iowa State just yet, but you saw the comeback at Baylor, the shootout here last year. Is this a team that gets maybe the scrappy label, unfairly? Are they more talented than we may give them credit for, especially when they seem to play Texas?
Well, it's like you're right. You look at our game last year, and while if we don't make that play there, Swoops throws the ball, and Jay Harris makes a play down there. But Shipley was the one who made it, because we made him punt the ball, and he had a good return there to get us in position we were in. But I told him it's going to be a dogfight, and it's a homecoming for them. So expect their best. You're going to get their best, and we're going to have to play at our best to really beat this team. But it's a very scrappy team that just plays, and they're going to make a play or two. And the thing about it, we just got to be able to counter and make sure that we can go make plays.
So, Coach, if you're happy to be here, are you even happier that you're not back at Louisville dealing with that scandal with Rick Pitino and having to answer questions about that?
You know what, I've always supported Coach Pitino. When I was there, he was great for me, and we had a really great relationship. And I know this probably which he is. He's concerned about his basketball team, and I know that's where all his focus is right now.
Thank you.
All right, thank you guys.